Hello and welcome to episode 6 of American Truck Simulator. Last time, we went from Nogales, Arizona to Bakersfield, California. Fun trip to have, but after a while it's time to finally get back on the game, or at least for me it's finally time. As for the freight market right now, this Harvester one looks really good at paying, but with a huge trailer like that, I still don't think I'm ready for a job of that size. I don't think that's for me. Yuma, Arizona, though. The time offers starts at 24 hours. I think I can easily make that. These other three up top are questionable. Oh, but it's that long trailer again. Damn. I think I can easily do Blythe. Alright, so Blythe to Redding. Two towns that you probably never heard of before, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Okay, this is weird. Oh, right, hold on, guys. I know what's wrong. There we go. So, apparently the problem was, I got new Moza Racing pedals for my Logitech G29. The old pedals were starting to have some flickering troubles, and I didn't want to deal with that anymore. But I didn't pair them yet for my truck sim. So we're gonna have to drive 7 hours all the way down to Blythe. For now, though, I usually would get gas and take a rest for now, but both meters actually look really good. And wow, that's a lot of braking power for this. That feels very weird. And we have a 25-mile-an-hour zone right here. So 7 hours to Blythe, and then having to go all the way up north to Redding. That is very far north in California, might I add. Farther north than Chico. I believe we've already drove through Chico once on the channel. Don't take my word for it, but it's very far. At least from where I live. I think it's like a 4 to 5 hour drive. My god, could this take any freaking longer? There's literally no one around. Why are we still on a red light? Well, finally, we're getting back onto the I-5 South. Getting to drive through the Grapevine once again. Without a doubt, my favorite drive. To always go through that. And we're gonna at some point put the cruise control right there. A tiny bit over, but of course it's nothing we're gonna get pulled over for. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but in California, speed limits for trucks with trailers are a lot more strict. Like other states, you could go the normal speed limit of like 70 or 80 miles an hour. In California, that does not exist. You have to go 55. That's the highest you could go. Other cars can go the higher speed limits, like 70, 75, whatever the heck. Trailers, though, have to stay at 55, no matter what. But now that we're on the highway, I can finally talk about something with you guys. Of course, I like to just do random topics and talk about through the episodes, because, let's be honest, just driving this thing, it can get boring at times. So, before this episode started, you know how I mentioned before I've been having a whole lot of stomach issues, a whole lot of stomach cramps and diarrhea, and not being able to eat at points. Like, that's how bad the cramps get. Finally got to see a doctor. The doctor's office has been quite backed up, and that's why I haven't been able to get an appointment as of late. But finally got to see my doctor, and he ordered me to do some blood work and even collect a stool sample. And let me just say, stool samples I freaking hate them. When I got to the doctor's office, apparently, even though I thought I heard blood work in there, they didn't. They told me no blood work was ordered. Just do the stool sample. I never could have thought I was in for what I was in for. I had to literally poop in a bucket. It wasn't literally a bucket, but it was like this hat-looking thing. And on top of that, I then had to use like the little spoon things at the top of a test tube and literally scoop it into a test tube. Like, it smelled so damn bad that I legit had to run back to my room, put on a mask, and oh crap, I am so sorry, I forgot to turn on my headlights. And this truck's going a bit slow. We're gonna back off of him. Make sure I'm not rear-ending anyone. We're gonna do some manual throttle control here. But, as I was saying, it smelled so goddamn bad that I had to wear the mask through the whole thing. And trying to just scoop the thing, and God, it was disgusting. I had to scoop it out to where it reached a certain line on the test tube. And then on top of that, I had to freeze two of the test tubes, and the third one kept at room temperature. Luckily, there is a second freezer in my garage, so I don't have to put it next to my family's food. But my God, I don't care what I get sick with next, I am never doing a frickin' spool sample again. I cannot do it. Like, even if I'm dying on a frickin' deathbed, I am never frickin' doing spool sample collection ever again. Oh, we're speeding a little bit. Let's bring it down. That's better. Yeah, it was very nasty, very frustrating. But at least now we're starting to, I think this is Tejon Pass. Just some random buildings throughout here. Nothing very much to say or see. We are soon though entering the greater LA area of like Glendale, Burbank, those cities. Looks like we'll take another exit up here. Hopefully we don't actually have to go through San Bernardino. Definitely not hearing the best of things about that city. Oh wait, we're already in the exit lane. I don't need a blinker. Give up a freaking program, Shane. I know it said to take the corner at 35, but who's gonna stop me? Gonna merge over. And it is still smooth sailing. Got through that turn and back onto the I-10 this time, not the I-5. Here comes an interchange. If I remember correctly, this is the I-10 and the CA-86. We're going to stay on the interstate. And I forgot what city this is. Is this Indio? Can't really tell. Like, I want to say we drove through here before, and it was Indio. Oh yeah, so we're in Indio, but it's not telling me anything about the job, so that's weird. I know we're supposed to have plenty of time, but I am paranoid about not getting there in time, because like, just imagine if something actually happens. That was completely out of my control. So hopefully I can get there as quick as I can. Then we'll take a rest stop and fuel break. Here's our exit right up here. We have made it to Blythe. Definitely don't want to be speeding around this cop car in front of me. And the cool thing about this city, we'll actually be driving through it, not just like driving on the highway and stuff like that. Like, actually get to look around the city. At least from what I know about this city, it's a very smaller town. It's far east of San Diego, right next to the California-Arizona border, so definitely don't want to, if you're looking for a beach, this is not your spot. And today it has a population of around 18,000. And this is our stop right here at EZADM. I think that's what it's called. We're gonna pick up a trailer here and take the rest stop we really have to do. Don't want to be falling asleep behind the wheel. Alright, freight market. Exactly as I thought. 44,000 pound harvester. It's a 48 grand job. Trailer will be right over here to pick up. Oh, that is not reverse gear. There we go, that's a much better view. Wasn't even close, but the game will still let me hook it up apparently. Because at least in the virtual world, you don't have to be exactly perfect. Sometimes that's good, sometimes if you're one of those realist people, probably isn't for you. But at least we're having fun. Now that we finally have a trailer, we can finally take a rest and gas break. Checking the map for it. Wow, we're gonna have to drive quite a bit back to Indio just for that stop. So 1 hour, 33 minutes. You might have to get there a bit more quickly than that. There is something in the game where if you... Like, what am I looking for? Like, just drive too long and let the rest meter max out, you can, like, actually pass out behind the wheel and total your truck and trailer. Hopefully that never happens. We reached the exit. Yeah, even my guy is getting really tired as well. Why do I keep forgetting to put it in gear? And the car stopped well beyond the stop line. Hurry it up. You got off the highway to get back on the highway. How does that make sense? Oh wait, we have to turn left. Swing wide again. Oh. Now we can finally turn right up here. Yes, I completely clocked that sidewalk, but that's not my concern. My concern is finally getting some sleep up here, and that's exactly what we're gonna frickin' do.
Tomorrow.
It is now 1:10 p.m. Finally wide awake. And we're finally gonna turn this thing around, get some gas. Next topic I want to finally talk about has to do with NASCAR. And once again, it is not in the good light. I wish I had something positive to say about NASCAR, but they never give me a reason to talk nice about them, especially now. Considering, there's now a new development in the 23XI and front row lawsuit against NASCAR. Some certain text messages between the NASCAR executives, especially Steve O'Donnell and Phelps, they've been trashing not only the SRX series back when that was still around, but they were also trashing directly drivers and team owners. And I think, yeah, Brian Herbst was involved in those texts as well, but let me just say he is not related anyway to Riley Herbst. I'll tell you more as soon as I get this turn done. Don't want to be too distracted out here. And now that we're fully rested, full tank of gas, we can finally get back on the I-10, head back west. And if I remember correctly, we will get back on the I-5, go through the Grapevine, and be on our way to Sacramento. Or no, Redding, not Sacramento. So, as I was saying, some things I noticed when NASCAR was trash talking the SRX. They were talking about how certain drivers like Tony Stewart, Chase Elliott, and some past NASCAR legends, they were mentioning how, oh, we gave them a racing career. They're popular because of us. They should be having full loyalty to NASCAR. And they had to put a knife in this quote-unquote stupid series. Also, the safety discussions around the Gen 7 car also came up there. The Steve's mad about how drivers complaining about the safety credentials of the Gen 7 car considering injuries, but mentioned how they're willing to drive the SRX on tracks that don't have safer barriers. Well, newsflash NASCAR, short tracks are going a lot slower on those tracks, and some of those aren't even a half mile. So, what's the freaking difference some safer barriers going to do? Yeah, I would prefer to drive on a track with safer barriers, but at the same time, the cars aren't going to be able to go 200 miles per hour out there. So, once again, NASCAR just making the most stupid arguments I've ever seen. And to add on top of things, they even went after car owner Richard Childress, calling him a stupid redneck who once again owes his fortune to NASCAR, and even said that he should be taken out back and flogged. My God, honestly though, I'm not shocked that NASCAR is talking about not just the car owners and drivers, but also fans this way, because they're willing to talk about the car owners who also, in a way, built NASCAR for them. Like Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt, they put NASCAR on their backs in the 80s and 90s. So did other car owners like Rick Hendrick. And on top of that, you now have Richard Childress potentially going after NASCAR legally speaking, nothing's confirmed on that yet, but the legal route is definitely being talked about by Richard Childress and other people involved within the team. Gonna get into the middle lane here. And NASCAR Xfinity driver and owner, or now going to be called the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Tommy Joe Martins went on X and said that he is not shocked by anything. He said NASCAR has been talking about car owners, drivers, and fans this way about for years on years now. Like, if NASCAR really cared about fans, they would have listened to them 2 decades ago about how bad the chase and playoffs are and how they need to fix the short track and road course packages with the current cars nowadays. But do they listen? No. And I'm honestly glad that these messages were exposed, because now we're really seeing how NASCAR feels and treats their fans and other people who brought them to the state they're in. Not currently in, brought them to their peak back in the 90s and 2000s. But downfall of NASCAR was all self-made by them. They have no one to blame but themselves. And finally, now that a high-level lawsuit like the one involving Michael Jordan and Front Row Motorsports, I'm telling you, I'm thinking it's going to get worse from here. It's already bad enough for NASCAR with the TV ratings and the current lawsuit. By the way, NASCAR lost another 100,000 plus viewers in the championship finale this year. So that streak of downhill championship viewership continues. Congrats. And once again, NASCAR has no one to blame but themselves for it. Tony Stewart was also in an interview at one point and said that he and some car owners were in a meeting with NASCAR, and he gave them all these recommendations and a list of what will help NASCAR improve. I don't know if this was a NASCAR exec or one of the high-level car executives from GM or Ford, whatever the hell, but they turned to Tony and said, "That's a complete 180 for what we think is best." Let me remind you that a lot of these guys have barely gotten into the sport, and all the other guys have like decades of experience. Are you saying that you're suddenly smarter than guys like Tony Stewart, who has been around the sport for decades? Like, my God, this is so just stupid. And you wonder why I barely even watch NASCAR anymore. This is exactly why. And I wouldn't be shocked if more people just completely tune out. At least now we're finally getting onto the I-5 North. The sights of Los Angeles are once again back. Again, can't get enough of those views of all the buildings within downtown LA. Just very cool to look at. And we still have 500 plus miles to go. We will continue to head north, but once again we will have to take the specialized truck route. At least I think we could just take the highway normally if we wanted to, but for the sake of realism, I'm going to stick with the truck routes. Gonna try to play this game somewhat realistically this time. I gotta say, I don't think it just gets said enough how well of a job the developers did modeling the Grapevine. And if you're wondering why we're going under 55 right now, we are on a uphill. The truck is trying its best to keep up the speed. Now we get there. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, truck. I did not know that was an exit-only lane. I do not need another freaking accident. But when I'm mentioning accidents now, I've actually noticed recently that I don't know if I already brought this up in another episode again, but this game actually does a good job of determining who's at actual fault for an incident. I've seen some clips where some guys like get into an accident, but they don't pay the fine because it turns out, hey, sometimes the AI causes the accidents. Like you're trying to make a turn, but then this some dumb AI just keeps going straight at you, doesn't even try to slow down, and just hits you. Well, guess what? You won't be at fault for that because the game can actually recognize who's at fault. Better than Forza Motorsport's stewarding policy, I will say. But since I'm taking you through this long tour of the grapevine, I might as well talk about something else. Microsoft Flight Simulator, on the PlayStation Store, Microsoft basically admitting that they're losing the console battle, and just it continues to go downhill from there. A lot of Xbox consoles and products have been removed from stores like Costco and Target. Sorry, my stomach. Oh, I am once again shifting completely wrong. Let's kill the engine some more while we're at it. This engine hasn't suffered enough. And although this is an interchange where we're supposed to stay on the I-5, the way it's structured, we actually have to take the ramp and go left to stay on the I-5. Quite different from other interchanges. But pretty much every Xbox exclusive is now coming to PlayStation. Xbox has been trying to make their console more like a user-friendly PC in a way, like trying to get Steam integration and all that. But that might not even happen anymore because Steam is making their own freaking console. And on top of that, the Steam console will have universal controller support. You do not need a specific controller. You can literally plug in an Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, hell, any other third-party controller like my Nacon Revolution 5 Pro. I decided to get that one instead of another PS5 controller because, again, console or controllers made by Sony and Xbox today, they are so crappy and cheap made, always getting stick drift after half a year. I just got sick of it and found an alternative, and it works really well. I really like the Nacon Revolution 5 Pro. It still works, and it has Hall effects analog sticks instead of the regular ones used in today's controllers, so that they pretty much never get stick drift. Why older controllers for back then still work better than today's regular controllers is just beyond me. But back to Microsoft. I'm sure they're really mad now that Steam is making their own console. We'll see how PlayStation handles it from there, but since they now have all the Xbox titles on PlayStation, who would want to switch to Xbox now? And Sony still continues to crush Xbox harder and harder with every sales chart that comes out. Ooh, someone got pulled over. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yes, I did cut it close between me and that truck that I just passed. But nothing's gonna slow me down. Now reaching the I-5 and I-580 interchange. Once again, it's weird interchange with the fact that you have to take either an exit or a ramp to stay on your current highway. If you go straight ahead, you're going to be somewhere else. Of course, we're not supposed to take the 580, which, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be a shortcut between the 205 and the I-5, but the 205 is also supposed to be a shortcut for something else. Now, it's now 9 o'clock, and we're about 4 hours away from Redding, just under 200 miles, and our rest meter is getting up there. Gas still looks really good for now, but maybe we should look at getting some rest soon. I just feel so, not mad, just frustrated with the fact that I don't get to go the speeds of regular cars just because I'm a truck trailer driver. I can't go 65 like they're doing right now. I have to stay at 55. And we do have a gas station up here. Oh, and it's also a rest stop. What the heck is going on up here? The whole frickin' freeway is blocked off. So more shenanigans up here as we reach Stockton. Gotta bring it back down with the gears. Maybe this is a good idea to just stop here and fill up the tank and get some rest. But at the same time, you gotta think, like, why the hell is, like, almost every route now that I take, the highway's blocked off for some dumb reason? Like, this can't be a freaking coincidence. It's like, I feel like the game's trying to screw me over.
One eternity later.
Finally, here's what we've been looking for. Don't want to hit those posts on the left. I'm gonna have to maneuver this very carefully. Very close, but I think I can just... Yeah, got it through. Alright, parking brake, rest. 7:52 in the morning. Right, should I just try backing out? Because, like, I feel like if I try to go forward, I'm going to hit this truck next to me. Yeah, I'm going to try to safe way and reverse. A little more. Almost there. And there you go, we're out of that space, and now we can fill the tank. As for the job, we still have 13 hours, 13 minutes remaining. And we should be there still within 4 hours. 168 miles still to go in this Redding trip. Please let me beat this light. Yay, we beat the light. Very steep entrance back onto the I-5, but at least we're back on there. Just gotta take our time, be careful. Just passing through Sacramento as we're almost 100 miles to Redding. And let me just say, these interchange, like rows, textures, all of that, they even nailed that down too. Like every single ramp that could possibly be on an interchange, they just put in there and got them all right. So that's very impressive as well. Here's another interchange up here. If I remember correctly, it's supposed to be the I-80. Now we're really... Oh, geez. I pressed the brake pedal on accident. And what is this car doing? Like, usually they only have those lights on when something happens ahead. Hopefully we don't have another freaking blockage on the highway. Yeah, you definitely know you're in the far north when you see interstate numbers like the 80 or 90. But now I think it's finally time to talk about probably my most interesting topic on here. The Formula One in Las Vegas that I went to. They had the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And it was also my first time ever being out of the state. If you don't know the backstory, my grandma found a really good deal on hotel rooms at the Paris Hotel. We ended up getting the rooms for a few nights, getting to watch every single F1 practice and qualifying from the hotel room. And then for the race itself, I was able to get myself a ticket for the Eiffel Tower's viewing deck at the hotel. A ticket for me and my dad. However, my dad chickened out because when he saw the heights, he was definitely not for it. So he went back down. I stayed up there for hours. Even got to watch a bit of the F1 Academy race. And got to watch the podium ceremony as well. All those the drivers, Max Verstappen, Lando, and George Russell, getting driven in the freaking Lego car that they had. And the sights as well that I got from the tower, I'd say Formula One is getting really expensive, but for how many days we got to stay in Vegas and what we were able to do, like, I'd say I had probably the best experience anyone could have had. During the F1 race, a ticket to watch the whole race on the viewing deck was only $170. And you had not just sights of a strip, you could also go back and look at the start-finish stretch. You could see a section around the sphere, and then watch them all barrel down the strip, heading into that one corner where I saw quite a few overtakes as well. So yeah, instead of spending $2,000 for a front stretch ticket, we ended up only spending like just over half as much. But that included the plane tickets, 3 nights at that Paris hotel, and a ticket to the Eiffel Tower viewing deck. Where, again, the sights on that were just unreal. Like, I had an absolute blast up there. I would definitely do it again. So, if any of you guys want something that's a bit more budget friendly and trying to get to an F1 race, probably take my advice. Look for the Paris Hotel, and maybe you can get yourself a ticket to the viewing deck and have a blast up there. Only thing is, they don't have the leaderboard or like lap numbers up there. But luckily, a couple guys that were also on the viewing deck with me. Oh, let's let these cars go by first. They also had the live broadcast on their phones, and some people were going up to him asking them what lap it was, what position a certain driver was in. They were telling everyone just what position it was, how many laps to go. They were really helpful in helping people knowing just what was going on. So, good on them. Forgot to turn the blinker off. And on top of that, both McLarens were disqualified. Something to do with the skid blocks. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri lose their points, and Max Verstappen ends up closing the title gap to just 24 points. He and Oscar are tied behind Lando Norris. So, at this point now, I'm starting to think that it's going to be choke job on the, not just Lando, but the entire McLaren team. We've been making fun of Lando for a while for just choking race starts and not keeping the title battle close enough last year. I think the left lane was supposed to be a left turning lane. I got the lanes mixed up there. But yeah, McLaren is now at risk of choking the entire thing themselves. All because they can't keep their cars legal. Cutting it close with that concrete barrier there, but got through it okay. Definitely a unique path down here. It's a dirt road to what looks like a ranch. Also got to try out some cool foods for the first time, like the strawberry crepe, chicken fettuccine pasta. You know what? It's been a while since I did the more challenging parking job. Let's do the challenging parking job. You guys sat through this entire episode. I owe you something more entertaining than this. Alright. Now we have to... Wait, that's not going to work. Let's go forward around this building here and try to do things different. Oh, and even tried bacon cheese fries for the first time. They were really good as well. Bobby's Burgers. You know, that one restaurant referencing Bobby Flay. Alright, so if I remember correctly, all we need to do is back it up. Just keep going this way, and we can back it up into that spot. Oh, let's... I am hitting that fence, am I? Yeah, let's not do that again. Nope, that's the wrong way as well. God, what am I doing? We're gonna have to do some unique maneuvering now because of that mistake. Oh, let's... Yeah, this is, for some reason, harder than it appeared. Like, all you have to do is back it along the dirt road and into that barn in front of a tractor. But for some reason, it's not turning out that way. Maybe if we use the outside view, it'll be a bit easier. Wrong gear again. Oh yeah, that's much easier. Think we're almost getting it. Oh. Sorry, guy, for hitting your tractor. Oh, but that's not good enough, but whatever the heck that was is. Hold on. Hold the heck on. God freaking damn. Okay, this should be good enough. If this isn't good enough, I don't know what is. There we go. Alright, that was a bit more stressful than I imagined. But we got 48 grand out of it. Still got to the end, no problems. Or, well, there was some problems, but still. Alright, so, that'll do it for this episode of American Truck Simulator. Hope you guys enjoyed that drive from Blythe to Redding, and if you want to see more ATS videos like this, please like and subscribe. It'll mean a lot to the channel, and I'll see you all another time.